Hello and welcome to Crucible of Words for more dedicated legacy action. Today we're finally getting round to playing the Questing Druid Rug Delver deck. So this is a tempo deck, but instead of having something like Tarmogoyf like you would normally see in Rug, we've gone for the Questing Druid. And also we're not having a Mongoose today, we're doing Murktide Regents and Delvers here. So, Questing Druid does change the way you want to build your Rug Delver decks a little bit. So Questing Druid, if you're unfamiliar, it has an adventure side for 2 mana instant, exile top 2 cards of your library. Until your next end step, you may play those cards. So if you play this in your opponent's turn, you untap with all your mana and get to cast them. If you play it in your turn, you have to play them there and then. So, and obviously the creature is a 1/1 that gets bigger when you cast white, blue, black or red spells. So what this incentivizes us is to not play things like Stifle, because we're not going to be able to leverage those stifles and our opponent's going to be able to play around them. So we're not really going to get the bonus from drawing extra cards from this. But what it does mean is things like Mishra's Bauble, which it may not put a counter on our Druid, but it's going to be an easy free thing to play off of our Druid if we do the Seek the Beast side of it. So that's kind of an interesting dynamic there. Brazen Borrower is also pretty handy for finding stuff off of Questing Druid. You can bounce things and go nuts. And it does encourage us to run quite a lot of spells. And only the 14 creatures here today. So the Delver is more likely to flip. Instead of the 4th Delver, we're also playing a Minor Misstep as one of the counter spells here. Which is just a nice tool that we can have here. This isn't my list. This is a 5-0 list I saw that I wanted to have a go with. So we've got counter spells as you'd expect. Dazes and Force of Wills. We've got cantrips, Brainstorms, Ponder, Mishra's Bauble, which is obviously very good with Channeler and Delver. And then we've got ways of interacting with stuff on the board. So we've got 4 Lightning Bolts and 2 Brazen Borrowers. And then we've obviously got all our creatures. And we are a Wasteland deck. And we've got the classic Rug mana base that I really like, which is the triple Volcanic, triple Tropical, and a bunch of fetches. Although we do have one more fetch than I would normally play. And I'd normally play 18 lands with a fetch. But I guess because we got the Questing Druid, it doesn't hurt to have slightly more mana sources available. Obviously, we're not upping our total amount of mana sources in the deck. But the first 6 fetches are all good, basically, is the plan. Alright, pretty simple main deck. Sideboard, we've got pretty much everything you expect. You know, counterbalances. Narset's an interesting one, because there's lots of people playing up the Beanstalk type deck, so we can try and stifle their ability to draw cards. Obviously not with an actual stifle, but with a Narset. So that's pretty good. We've got a couple of Meltdowns, cast into fire, you know, Grafdigger, all the stuff you'd expect, really. Nothing unusual happening in the sideboard. Also, I'll note that we are playing Hydroblast. I think the list that I saw was running Blue Blast. The reason I like Hydroblast slightly better is because if you have Questing Druid in play and have a Hydroblast but no target, you can still cast it to pump your Questing Druid, because this says counter target spell if it's red, because it's got an if clause, so you can cast it targeting any spell or any permanent. So you can always put a counter on your Questing Druid, so it is better than Blue Blast, in my opinion, in this deck. Alright, that's it. Remember to like and subscribe, and why not check out the Patreon, maybe become a member. You can do a low tier just for a couple of quid a month to sort of thank me for my content if you want to. Obviously, just keep watching is the main thing now. Alright, let's play some Legacy. If you're looking to play Legacy on MTGO like me, why not try Card Hoarder? They're a rental service that I personally use, and I found them better than other rental services that I've used in the past. So why not give them a try? Our opening hand here doesn't really have a threat or a way to start the game going, so I think we're going to mulligan. London Mulligan is good, you should use it, and here's a very nice example as to why. We can keep this, throw back 1 Borrower, and then we can get our Delver going. We're relatively odds on to flip our first Delver because of our Mishra's Bauble, because we can look at the top card of our library in our opponent's turn and we can decide if we want to. That does mean we have to wonder if Orcish Bowmasters is going to be a problem or not, because we can get super blown out by Bowmasters if we stack this, and then they can ping our creature, and then also get us. So, not the best. That maybe incentivizes us to fire off this Bauble. So our opponent's Watery Grave, which means they are a Death Shadow deck most likely. So maybe we're supposed to Bauble straight away. Let's see what happens with this Delver first. Okay, the Delver's in. Are we playing this Mishra's Bauble into a potential Bowmasters? So we can play it and try and use it to flip our Delver, or we can just do it to get a cycle and get another card playing around the Bowmasters. I think I'd rather play around the Bowmasters, to be honest, and just cycle that for a card. and a little bit of information. So we know there's a Death Shadow incoming. Our opponent's life total is going to be something they're going to want to reduce, which is obviously an interesting prospect since we can be quite aggressive with our threats. Orcish Bowmasters. Yep, so we were rewarded for playing around that. I say rewarded. The reward was getting a card and not getting super blown out and just getting a little bit blown out. Alright, our Delver would have flipped. Interesting. So now we kind of want to play around Daze. We're very far behind here. Bowmaster somehow. Blanking our Brainstorm means we're probably pitching the Brainstorm to the Force of Will here. The reason we played the Scalding Tarn out is so that if we look with Delver and we don't like the card, we can at least shuffle it away because we need to find some action soon. So we're going to use our Delver as like a scry. I don't think we block one of these, which I'd like to block that Bowmasters. I don't think it's where I want to be. And the Polluted Delta. Are they going to go for jamming this Death Shadow at us or not? I suppose one interesting thing that is missing from our deck that you might normally expect to see is Veil of Summer, and this is certainly the matchup where we would want the Veil of Summer. That could be awkward for us. Let's have a look. A Daze. Yes, I'd like to reveal that. Do I want to draw a Daze? I don't think I do. I'm going to crack this now. Let's get Volk and try and draw a better card. A Ponder. It's not really where I want to be here, is it? If we start racing here, we're going to be in a little bit of trouble because of their shadow. So I think we just pass the turn, hold up our stuff. We can block the Bowmasters here with our Insectile Aberration, but Delver back on blocks is not a great feeling. Are we Force of Willing this? I think we are. Like, evasive threats. Our plan here is to bet 6 power in the air. Our opponent's life total, if they lower it themselves, we can get some joy. That's basically our plan here. We can't really cast our Ponder, or, well, we can cast it, but not with our Borrower around. We can take the 1 if we want it. Sure, I'll let them Brainstorm. So we might just be jamming the Borrower here, and we can go for 6 and then 6 again. So if they crack this Delta and play the Watery Grave with it and then Death Shadow, that'll put them to 12. So we hit them for 6, so their Death Shadow is going to be... this is a bit awkward, isn't it? Are we playing this as a 3-1 or are we bouncing the guy? I think we're just playing this as a 3-1. And that's how we win this game. So their Death Shadow will be 7. Yep, so there's a Death Shadow we know about. There's a 3. If we attack them for 6, this will put this to a 9, 10, 11. So we're still not dead to that. Interesting. I think we do attack with both guys here. What are we worried about? So this can get 12, 13, 14. So they can't make this lethal. So we are going to hit here. We've got ourselves a Lightning Bolt. Obviously we're not going to fire that off now because that would be a bit of a disaster. Because they could... It'll pump their guy a bit more and maybe something could go wrong. Although we've kind of just decided to take our medicine and just get bashed up a bit here. I'll take out one of these Watery Graves now. It looked like our opponent was itching to do something. Which means we can't play around double Daze with our Bolt. It's going to be big daddy Mercs. I think we fire off the Lightning Bolt now. It plays around a potential Force of Negation. And it means if we draw another one, we can fire off. You got Forcible blue card? Or are you dead? Alright, they're dead. So our game plan there, we kind of identified that we weren't winning the long game there. So, alright. That was not too shabby. What do we want for this matchup? It's kind of an awkward one because Pyroblast is fine, but sometimes does nothing. Like, it kills their Murktide, which is kind of important for us, but it doesn't really tackle their other threats. They can certainly play games where they just ignore it. Counterbalance is quite nice here. That's not something they get to remove very easily. Narset, I kind of like here. I'm not really a big fan of 2-for-1ing ourselves in this sort of matchup, so these sorts of cards feel better. Do you want something like Surgical Extraction? They haven't shown us any sort of scam package. I don't think that's the case. Do I want some amount of Pyroblast? I think that might be better than Daze's here. I'm only going to be removal spells, and I want to cast into the fire to kill Orcish Bowmasters. Not in love with how I've sideboarded here, but I don't know if we have any better options. How are we going to beat their Murktide? Like, we could keep Force of Will in as a way of counterspelling Murktide Regents. But 3 Pyroblast and 2 Brazen Borrowers is probably okay. And they still have, like, other utilities. Like, we might have to aggressively Pyroblast some Brainstorms and things. But Pyroblasting a Brainstorm feels fine to me as a general thing. I don't think people do it enough. You have to choose your spot when you're doing it. But I think the ability to say no to that level of card selection when your opponent is kind of counting on it, because not enough people counter Brainstorms anyway, means you get a lot of value. Like, they can rely on the Brainstorm and get ruined. Alright, what does our hand do? Maybe we can play the double Wasteland cheese them game. Is that where I want to be? They're unlikely to play a threat on turn 1 because they're Death Shadowed. So I don't think I'm... Murktide is so good though. Right, we're going to give this a go. I'm a little bit reluctant because sometimes in these matchups you just Wasteland and then nobody wins. Alright, a Ponder. I would like to get this Ponder off. I think I'm going to do it off of a Volcanic Island though. That way we can play these Lightning Bolts next turn whilst Wastelanding. Okay, I like Dragon's Rage Channeler. I like Pyroblast as well for later. So let's say no. So we can Dragon's Rage Channeler and Wasteland. So now our hand looks a lot better. So what our opponent's up to? Just an underground sea. Cycling a Troll. Okay, so they do have some amount of scam stuff going on here. I don't know if they're going to be running Griefs as well. But they've got the Troll Reanimate package. A Doughty Voidwalker. Sure, we can kill this when the tide comes. The Surveil's kind of annoying because it goes into their Doughty Voidwalker, but a Pyroblast. I don't think we want that now. Are we Wastelanding? If we Wasteland now, it puts a Wasteland into our opponent's ability with this Doughty Voidwalker. I don't think that's going to be what happens though. Let's see what our opponent's got going on over there. So we do this now. They have an Orcish Bowmasters. Get rid of one of these. If they don't have a land, then they might not. Okay, so now we do have a red source here. I was going to say, if they don't have a land, then they might not be able to Orcish Bowmasters. And then our turn will be Lightning Bolt, Wasteland. And that will turn our Dragon's Rage Channeler into possibly a 3-3 if we can mill a creature. Our opponent's paused in a way that makes you think they don't have another land. Unless they're just contemplating whether or not they want to Wasteland or anything. They're going to bash us for 3. Which is A-OK with me. Reanimate on the Troll. Sure. I think our plan is to erase this Troll. If we Wasteland this goes into the Abyss, so it's less things that we can put into the Murktide. So I think we are supposed to Lightning Bolt first. Narset, that can go into the graveyard. That's oh no wait, it won't go into the graveyard, will it? Because of how this works. Alright, let's take that out. We're not attacking here. This is a 3-turn clock from our opponent. Yep. Bash us for 6. Mishra's Bauble. This is an artifact. We have an instant as well. Put this into our graveyard. I don't think we need this now. That's what opponent has on top of their library. Brainstorm. That's not going to help them out a lot here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If we do this, it'll only be a 4-4. Let's Ponder here. Minor Misstep. Sure. Some Druids and some other stuff going on here. Interesting. We know they got Brainstorm on top. They didn't cast anything last turn. So maybe we don't actually want this Minor Misstep. So we put Druid, Misstep, Druid. Say no here. Draw the Druid. Lightning Bolt them. Mill the Misstep. Attack for 3. Next turn we play the Big Daddy Mercs. And they'll be dead the turn after. So we're cutting a bit fine again, but that's what we did in the first game and it worked. So wait, no, have I messed this up? I have messed this up, haven't I? If we need to play this the previous no, I have messed this up because we're just going to hit us for 6 with this. We need 3 creatures to block it, not 2. So we need to seek the beast here. What does that actually do for us? No, I think we lost this one, haven't we? Cast into the fire. Yeah, we made a mistake here, haven't we? We just didn't have quite enough damage. Yeah, no. I I'm just trying to think if we did that in a different order. So last turn we played the Murktide. Yeah, last time we played the 4/4 Murktide, but deal them 1 less damage. So they would be on 2 less damage. They'd be on 6. But then we'd also get an additional more damage from here. I don't know, it's pretty tight actually there, because we'd have to rely on flipping enough stuff with our Murktide. I'm pretty happy with how it's sideboarded. Do I want Dazes on the play is the question. Do I want Dazes on the play over Narset perhaps? They're pretty good at playing around Dazes as a general rule. But if we're going into the Wastelandy town, maybe... No, I think I like just being more aggressive with what we're trying to accomplish. No, I want to threat. We are the aggro here. Ugh. We do get to Brainstorm for a turn 2 threat here. I guess we keep that. It's not quite how I wanted it. Haven't seen Stifle out of our opponent's deck yet, so I'm not going to play around it. Okay, our opponent's gone to 5, which is good. This empowers our Wasteland quite nicely. We don't have anything like Surgical Extraction in our deck. I don't think it's worth doing it just for the troll. A Ponder. See what they want to do with this Ponder. I might do an end of turn Brainstorm, just because I want to make a 1-drop threat and Wasteland them, and just get the aggro going. I don't really like these end of turn Brainstorms, but I think that's what we're going for here. So we go for red source, Brainstorm. We found the 1-drop that we wanted. We got to put some cards back. Guess we'll put back a land. Questing Druid. Let's waste on this. Let's go for the DRC. We'll pass. So they can't Orcish Bowmaster this because they're not going to have 2 mana this turn. Unless they're playing like Dark Ritual or something, which is unlikely. But right, basic swamp. So they might not have any blue mana, but they can cycle a troll at some point to go and find an underground sea. I think given the texture of the game and our opponent's mulligan, we probably want to be doing Questing Druid and just getting as much card advantage as we can and just bury them in cards this game. So it's going to be a fatal push, I believe. Do I want to get the extra look with our Brainstorm here? I don't really want this land we're drawing into, so I would like this Surveil. This can go into the graveyard. And I don't really want all of these either. Yeah, we will lose our guy, unfortunately. And then we're going to draw another land that we don't really want. I'm going to play out the Scalding Tarn. And we're going to pass. So we have a Lightning Bolt if we want it. We are cracking our fetch. Troll of Khazad-dûm, sure. Underground Sea. A Ponder. So we're going to crack our fetch in the upkeep so that we don't draw this land. And I'm going to see how we fare. We could play just Questing Druid, holding up Lightning Bolt for Orcish Bowmasters. So when they try and kill it, we can kill their Bowmasters and pump our guy. I'm going to crack this for... I think this one could be a trop. A Pyroblast. Are we just trying to get the Questing Druid down here and start getting some beat down, or do we think we need the card advantage? I think if they play this troll, we're going to want to be able to race it, or are we just going to want the cards? It's tough to know. I think we're going to try and take the cards here. We can Pyroblast something here. Misty Rainforest. We could see like a pretty reasonable sized Murktide. Cracking their Misty. This suggests to me a Murktide play rather than Reanimate play. Unless they just have a bunch of interaction, like Flusterstorms and stuff. Right, this could be Sorin's Ransom or Orcish Bowmasters. I would like to Seek the Beast. Got Flusterstorm in there. It's pretty nice. Right, so I'm going to play this Misty Rainforest. Crack this Misty Rainforest for a Volcanic Island. I'm going to cast this Ponder off of the Volk here, expecting an Orcish Bowmasters that we're going to Lightning Bolt. There's the Bowmasters. Here's our Lightning Bolt. Delver, and his land. We don't want the land, but we'll take the 2 Delvers. So if we crack our fetch land, we lose our Delver. But if we have to Pyroblast something, then we have to Pyroblast something. Okay, so it's like a Reanimate on the Orcish Bowmasters. Okay. Sure, we lose our Delver and you get your guy a little bit bigger. Honestly, that's much better for us than if they were to get the Orcish Bowmaster, the Troll of Khazad-dûm out. Maybe that means they have a second reanimate, or they're just rating the Bowmasters higher here. Alright, they have a big threat here instead. This is going to be the Murktide. They left the Troll so they can reanimate it later. I think we're going to draw the Delver. And we're going to crack this for green. We're going to play our Questing Druid. We're going to Pyroblast this. Pumping our Questing Druid. We can fire off another one if they've got interaction here. But they only have one card, so it could be a Daze that we could pay for. Okay. I'm going to cast this into a potential Daze, but it pumps our guy big enough to beat the Orc army. They paused for a while though, so I wouldn't be surprised if they had a Daze, but I want to have a big enough creature. Yeah, there it is. But this was about getting a 3/3 Questing Druid more than getting the Delver into play. Right. They're cracking their fetch for a tapped Watery Grave. We have the next Murktide covered. I am worried about another Troll though. Alright. This does give us more cards if we want them. So we could deploy a Murktide of our very own soon. That'd be quite tasty. Yep, they're going to bash us for a bit with these guys. This puts us to 10. What are we going to draw? I would like to Seek the Beast. So this is red and green. What do we find? Cast into the Fire is okay. Counterbalance is okay. We only get one of them. I'd rather have a Cast into the Fire or a Counterbalance. We could just clear up this Orc army. Actually, no, that's not how that works. This only deals 1 damage to up to 2 targets, right? 1 damage to each of up to 2 target creatures. Yeah, so we can kill just Bowmasters. Or we could slam down this Counterbalance. Or we could play this Questing Druid and not get any value from here. Do I want this Counterbalance? Do I want this Orcish Bowmasters dead? This is a really tough choice. I think we probably just want to kill the Bowmasters here. That means that all of our cantrips are much better top decks now. We don't get the Counterbalance, sadly. Right, I'm going to go to 8 this turn. And I'm just living in fear of this Troll getting reanimated at some point. So they're probably just going to hold it as Brazen Borrower. No. 4 mana. 3 mana. Is this a Murktide? 1, 2. It is a Murktide, sure. So we have this covered. I'd like to find something useful here. A Lightning Bolt definitely qualifies as useful. So green, green, Pyroblast, destroy this, pump our guy. Now, I don't really want to Lightning Bolt this Orc Army token. I'd rather save it for the evasive creature and the Borrower. I think they will attack here. And we will let it through. Yeah, there it is. A Ponder. I like a Ponder. No more Bowmasters. They've got 1 card in hand. Is it another Bowmasters? No. These cards are pretty good. I do want all of these cards. So we only get 1 of them right now. Unless you want to do some Seek the Beast shenanigans. Because we could Seek the Beast. And then we can Lightning Bolt there. Okay, but if we want to borrow this. I guess we probably... Oh, this is tough. These cards are all real good. So we go Druid, Borrower, Channeler. And play this out. This gives us the biggest game in town. Are we bashing for 4 here? That could turn on things like Death Shadow. I honestly don't think we do. I think we're just going to leverage the Seek the Beast a little bit more. So we're going to line about this Borrower. I want this Borrower because this is our answer to the reanimated Troll, as well as can answer this army token if it gets to that. But we have 2 creatures that can smash this Orc. Alright, that Wasteland is not going to do anything here. Sure, I take out one of a red source. We still have a red source in the deck. There's a Brazen Borrower that we knew about. I think we just attack with the Channeler here. Play it a bit cautious. I'd rather save this Borrower for another Murktide or this Troll. Now we get to Seek the Beast. I think we just attack and then Seek the Beast next turn. Or in their turn, so we get the maximum looks. And then we can kill them next turn by bouncing their guy anyway. Alright, cracking the Delta. A Brainstorm. In combat. Sure. Cycling a Troll. Sure. So they can now start casting Trolls. A Ponder. Sure. I guess we could have sought the Beast in response to maybe Pyroblast. That Ponder, but I guess we're more looking to Pyroblast, a Murktide Regent, or a Brazen Borrower at this point. Let's seek the Beast. We're not in Wasteland Town right now, so this can go into our graveyard. Make our guy huge. Mishra's Bauble. More quests. Okay, let's play a Bauble. This card's fine. See what we got over there. Land, okay. Let's petty theft this out of the way. A Brainstorm. I'm going to say no to this one. Alright, so we got the match there. Yeah, interesting. So we had the first game where we were just trying to race our opponent. The second game where we kind of just got trolled and we were a turn behind. And then the last game where we ended up taking the control route. It was certainly aided a little bit by our opponent's mulligan, but we went to 6 and they went to 5. So it's not like a million miles away in terms of starting resources. But the Questing Druids just gave us lots of card advantage. And the Death Shadow build doesn't really have Sauron's Ransoms like the Scam build does, so it doesn't have that mid to late game punch of drawing extra cards. So we are 1-0, let's go to round 2. Yeah, this hand seems fine. We've got Island Ponder. We're going to need it to find our next land drop. Our opponent's mulligan to 6. Alright, we do have an emergency Force of Will, which is always nice. A Grief. I don't want to deal with a Grief. Ugh. Sure. So they're going to take the Force of Will, most likely. Yep. And then we're going to see a Reanimate, and we're going to lose another card. Oh. We're like Reanimator. Maybe. Yes, we are full on Reanimator. Alright. Haven't played against Reanimator for a while, after it being like the scourge of Legacy for a while. Right, let's Ponder. Any order. Shuffle. Found a Force of Will. That's okay. Fire this off. Oh, another Grief. Why are you doing this to me, opponent? A Wasteland. Alright. That might come in handy. So they can't Grief and Reanimate here. Because they'll need a black card. So we might get them with this Force of Will. Alright, here we go. Animate dead. I'd rather not get Brainstorm locked here. So we're going to pitch the Brainstorm to this. Not bad. So we can Wasteland to shut off. Alright, we can double Wasteland if we want to, actually. Alright, let's Ponder. Okay, I would like a... do I want a Daze? What Daze now is the question. That's an interesting one. I think we do want these cards, though. So that's our second mana source. I think we go Misty, Daze, Bauble. And say no. We play the Bauble out. We don't crack it this turn. We don't want the Daze in our hand right now. We want, because we know they've got a Grief that's likely to take it. That could be a bit greedy. They just draw a Reanimate here and completely punish me. Let's see what they're drawing next turn. A Thoughtseize. Alright. So we do get to stop them from having lands. Which is fun. Not for them, obviously, but... Then we get to follow this up with a Murktide next turn. I imagine they're going to Grief us, but we can counterspell that Grief if we want to. That stops us from playing Murktide next turn. Alright, let's play Big Daddy Mercs. Let's get this out. Cast this, so we want blue. Blue, so we've got instant sorcery, instant sorcery. Do we just want the biggest Murktide around? I think so. Alright, they're off it. Sure. Reanimate, you say. I would like my Grafdigger's Cage and Surgical Extractions. I would also like my Flusterstorm and Counterbalance. Pyroblast has some use against the potential show and tell lines, but I don't think that's worth it. Do I think my opponent is going to sideboard into the Dauthi Voidwalker plan? I think that is probably one of the better plans right now for the deck. So that makes me reluctant about getting rid of Lightning Bolts. Let's get rid of some Baubles and maybe Shaver Bolts. Try that. This is a no-lander. But if it draws a land, it it can defend itself pretty well. I don't think we can keep a no-lander though. Alright, we have a piece of interaction. And then we have the Wasteland plan, which I find quite effective, generally speaking. So if you want red and green, we need to keep both. We need to keep both of these. We could throw back the Murktide, or we could throw back a land, and we'll eventually get to Murktide. Sure, I would like to keep the blue card in hand in case we draw a Force of Will. So we've got the Doughty Voidwalker plan covered. We've got a piece of graveyard interaction. It's interesting how Reanimator went from being this omnipresent deck that was ruining everyone's day to a deck that people just beat up on all the time. Not saying that we're necessarily going to beat up on it, but it certainly has fallen out of favour. And Entomb. Okay. That's fine by me. We have a Sage Extraction when the time comes. Alright. And a Questing Druid. Alright. Let's pass the turn. We can cast a Sage Extraction whenever we see fit. Because they had to telegraph that Entomb. There's Bloodstained Mire. A Dark Ritual. Sure. Let them commit as much as possible. And Exhume. Let's get rid of this Grizzlebrand. Oh, they're off it. Fair enough. Yeah. 2-0. Let's go to round 3. This opening hand is going to require us to brainstorm. But do I want to keep a no threat hand on the draw? So brainstorm. I guess we can brainstorm on their turn if we need to. Okay, Cavern of Souls. Goblin. Alright, alright. This is going to be Lackey. Scope Prospector, that's not as bad for us. Alright, so we have this Wasteland. We have his 2 Force of Wills. So I'm going to say no to Cavern of Souls. I would like my Force of Wills to do stuff. A Chrome Mox. I'm going to let this resolve with the intention of counterspelling the things they play. So I'm going to like let them 2-for-1 themselves here. Which one is that? Is that Ringleader? Okay. I guess they're a little ways off of 4 mana. Shatter Skull. 3 life. Okay. So they got a play here. Could be a 3-drop if they want to sack their Prospector. Battle Cry Goblin. Genuinely do not want this to resolve. Don't know how familiar you are with goblins, but that Battlecry Goblin does an immense amount of work. It's the secret all-star of that deck. Alright, a Delver of Secrets. Sure. Let's get a Volcanic. Play our threat. We can Force of Will something scary. Like a Muxus. It's the scariest thing. Shaman Spirit Guide. A Rabble Master. That's scary. That can go. Don't see that in the Goblin builds that often. But it's pretty good. I wonder if they're going to attack their Prospector. They are. I would like to keep my 3 power guy. Because their deck is just full of creatures. We need to win the game. Shall I reveal this Daze? I'd like to get attacks. Alright, we've got the clock on them. We have a more further piece of interaction, which is always handy. We'll take our 1. Right, a Ponder. I would like to Ponder here. Questing Druid, Lightning Bolt. All of these cards are real nice. Alright, so I'd like to draw this Lightning Bolt before I have to shuffle. And we'll see if we get to do that or not. See if I remember to stat in the right way. I'm pretty sure I did. There it is. Okay, so we have the Lightning Bolt. So now we attack. And then we have Seek the Beast and Lightning Bolt and Daze available. And then we can untap into Questing Druid and do some cool stuff. A Chrome Mox. Is this something we want to Daze here? Or is this bait? I don't think this is bait. I think we're going to Seek the Beast first. And see if we get anything that makes me want to change the way I'm playing this hand. Let's, no, I think we allow this. We can always Lightning Bolt in response to something else. They can have 2 cards in hand, potentially 4 mana. A Battle Cry Goblin, sure. Do I want to Lightning Bolt this now, or do I want my Questing Druid to be bigger? I don't want my Questing Druid to be bigger. Like, we're not taking damage from this now. But I'm just working out if I want to be mana efficient or not. Let's play this. Let's play this. Let's play this. Let's have a look at the top card of our library. Okay, we don't want that. Okay, so we're probably only going to want red spells here, so that's what we're going to get. Bash here. It puts us in an interesting spot because if we lightning bolt them, we do kill them next turn. Delver of Secrets. Okay, not that exciting. And they can't kill us with what they have on board. They have to commit more, and we do have a lightning bolt to break up whatever they're doing. If they're relying on the Battlecry Goblin giving stuff haste, we can blow it up. Otherwise, we can just end the game next turn with a lightning bolt. Just the Battlecry Goblin, sure. We'll take it. Sure. You can hit me for 3. That's not going to kill us. Right, let's bash them for 3 and then lightning bolt them. Right. So we got game 1 there. Removal is good. Right. I would very much like our Hydroblast here. I think casting into fire is okay. Grafdigger's Cage stops Muxus from putting creatures into play. If they're on Ether Vial, then Meltdown might be useful. I can think about. Not convinced we want Dazes here. And Force of Will is not great either. We could play something like Counterbalance and try and hit some of their stuff. But the thing we're most scared of costs 6 or 4, and we don't have those costs in our deck, so I don't think that's worth it. Yeah, I think this is what we're on here. Do I prefer Meltdown to Null Rod? What is the difference? Meltdown is a coloured spell for the purposes of pumping our Questing Druid. It also has more synergy with our Dragon's Race Channeler. Sure, we'll try this. I don't know if they're on an Ether Vial build, but it's relatively, I say relatively free. We're just going to draw nothing but Meltdowns now. Yeah, we got some threats and some other stuff. Keep this. We've got the classic Delver. What's this going to be? They're going to play Chalice. They are going to play Chalice. Okay, we brought in Meltdown, so I'm very happy about that. Sure, I would like to draw some more cards in case things go awry for us. Right, they have a Muxus in hand from next turn. Understood. We're going to get Sticker Goblin right now. We can also bounce this Chalice if we need to. Cavern of Souls. Sure. Feels like Sticker Goblin into Muxus here. Yep, how much mana is this going to give them? 5, okay. They got Spirit Guide? They do not. A Matron, sure. Putting Seething Song on a 2-2 in a relevant tribe is it's quite the gas. Battlecry Goblin. Yep. Okay, our opponent has quite a good turn 2 there. And we can't cast some of the spells in our deck. So we could melt down and then do nothing. That doesn't seem like a great strategy. I think we have to get the Druid on the go. Oh my god, I got the wrong land there as well. I was supposed to get a Volk and I misclicked on hit the Trop. Ugh. Alright. Slightly uphill for us. I think we're probably dead this turn anyway. They can't pump with Battlecry Goblin because they don't have any coloured mana. Because Cavern of Souls doesn't tap for activate abilities. Alright. Chalice for 2. Okay. We find another land and we can blow up all their chalices and do some stuff then. We could play a spell to pump our Questing Druid. We could play 2 spells to pump it twice. We can't Petty Theft because that will get countered. If we want to play 2 spells, I think we just have to play these into the chalice and pump our guy. Alright, so now we have the biggest game in town, so we can try and block. They're only on 12, so if we can stabilise. Like, a land here kills us. Alright, yeah, so they get Muxus and we lose a game. We might not lose the game, not this turn, but I'm not sure how we're supposed to win. But let's see what their deck reveals to us. Fail the Mirror Breaker, fail the Mirror Breaker. That's not that bad. Oh wait, they give their guys haste here, don't they? So we block here. No, yeah, we're definitely dead. It was bad. Okay, so do we want Dazes now and Force of Wills and the other Force of Will, now that we know that our opponent's doing more chalicey things? It's probably going to be more useful to us than these Mishra's Baubles. I don't know how many Dazes we want. Maybe not that many. Sure, let's try this. I don't like this one. Doesn't really do the things. Okay. Delver plus Daze. That's what I signed up for here. And we got a Wasteland, which is going to go very well with our Daze. I think the Brazen Borrower can go back here. Classic Delvering right now. Delver Secrets with Daze Wasteland. What's not to love? This is how magic's supposed to be. A mountain? A mountain? What is this all about? We will not reveal this tropical island. Are we seeking the beast? Are we pondering? If we ponder, we probably want to do it off of this tropical island. This will set us up with Delver next turn, unless we just have nothing like that. So that's any order and shuffle. Okay. We don't have the most interaction. And there might be sandbagging a cavern to ruin our day. A Crow Mox. We're not going to daze this one. Is that a ringleader again? Yeah. Just happy throwing away ringleaders. That's kind of scary. It's going to be Sticker Goblin. Or they're going to play a 2-drop around Daze. Chalice of the Void. On 1. Sure, that's actually fine right now. It might not be soon, but we don't have any 1-drops right now. Polluted Delta. We also don't have a lot of anything right now. Okay, so I think we are on Wasteland, their mana source, to make our days work better. Tap them for 1, seek the beast in their turn so that we have the most amount of chances to use those cards. We can seek the beast in response to a spell. Right, let's go seeking beasts. Okay. So we have a Brainstorm that we're probably not casting here. Ponder. Yes, I would like to reveal that. No, I don't want to draw it, but we didn't really have a choice. But we can play Questing Druid here. So this is green, red. Play this land. Get another red source, because I think red is the best mana for us in this matchup. Cast this to put a counter on our Questing Druid. Bash for 3. We're giving up that Wasteland to do that. But a 2-power guy is a lot different to a 1-power guy. And they're not showing us a thing we can Wasteland right now. Okay, now they have something we can Wasteland. But what are they going to do? Also, by playing out these spells, it's fueling our Murktide Regent to be large. Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Yeah, that's pretty good. Our creature will be bigger than this, but that's going to give them the mana to do Muxusy type stuff. Which I'm not a fan of. We can't Lightning Bolt this. A Meltdown would be great. A Lightning Bolt. That's exactly the thing that I said I didn't want. Okay, let's pump our guy. Other creatures. I think we will Lightning Bolt for no value here. If they give us the chance. Because the Lightning Bolt will put the Delver to lethal. And then we just daze anything we want to. We could Lightning Bolt and then daze our Lightning Bolt to turn off their Ancient Tomb. Okay, now that doesn't work. Yeah, if they didn't block there, we could put them to 2 so they can't Ancient Tomb. So I think that's a smart move on their part there. Alright. We need to be able to daze their Muxus, or their Muxus be not good enough to kill us. Which is asking for a lot. I don't think we Lightning Bolt here, because if we draw Meltdown, we can melt this down and bolt them. And probably have lethal. Ancient Tomb, okay. They can play a Muxus into a Daze. That will put them dead on board. Even if they play the Muxus, it might not be enough to win them the game unless they hit Sticker Goblin and Battlecry Goblin. Which is the real jam. I will play this Goblin deck on the channel soon, by the way. It's in my queue. Because it looks real sweet. Goblin Matron. Okay. What's this going to find? The Bouncy Goblin? Who probably has a real name. Name Sticker Goblin. We will daze the Name Sticker Goblin. Do you have a Spirit Guide? They did not. So we got the match. So we're now 3-0. We're cruising with a bit of the old Questing Druid Rug Delver. Feels pretty good. It's kind of quite different to the Rug Delver that I was used to. It feels more like, not quite like Expressive Iteration Blue Red Delver, but kind of similar in some respects. Alright, going to round 4. We're on the play for round 4. I guess we can Ponder or Brainstorm into a threat next turn. I think I'll hold up this Misstep and just play. I think that means we have to play out this Volcanic, which is awkward if they have a Wasteland. But I would like to save the Misty Rainforest for a Brainstorm. Our opponent's name is Dark Ritual, so. There's a Saga, you say. Alright. A Mox Diamond. I'm going to counterspell this. We're not going to get many uses for this Minor Misstep. But this could jam our opponent's entire plan for green mana up. and stop Urza Saga making Saga tokens. So it could be an absolute game-breaking play that we did that. Or it might end up doing very little. That's Magic the Gathering for you. Okay, let's brainstorm. What? It's not really what we wanted. I don't think we're going to need... Are we going to want more lands against the lands deck? I suspect we might do. Let's get some more information. I suspect they are on a lands build. Alright, there's a crop rotation there. Alright, I think we're going to get another red source. Just so that they can't take us off of a colour right now. Ponder. Okay. Bolt on the bottom, then the Beastorm, then the Channeler. Say no, draw the Channeler, and we're away. We can make a Murktide next turn. They got an Ancient Tomb? Or did we get him? Oh, feels like they might have really needed that Mox Diamond. Ah, maybe not. No Ancient Tomb though, so unless they play another Mox Diamond, they're not making a Saga Construct this turn, which is nice for us. We know they have a crop rotation here, so I'd like to take the opportunity to make this Murktide. Our hand is pretty good. I guess we don't really want this Lightning Bolt. We're just doing this now to improve the size of our Murktide. How much are we going to want these sorts of things? I don't think... I guess we can knacker their crop rotation quite nicely. I guess we get rid of a Bauble and a Bolt here. Play this out, crack this. I think we're just going to go get another Volcanic here and just ignore our green mana for now. If they crop rotate, we can Force of Will it, and that's going to really ruin our opponent's day. Savannah. Nope. Let's see what you're doing over there. We also knew that crop rotation was coming as well. Otherwise, we would have just... If we didn't have an answer to it, might have done something differently. So yeah, I'm just going to go and get red source here. Oh, not red mana. We need blue mana here. Blue, blue. So instant, instant, instant. We have an instant in hand, so we'll take that instant. Do we just want to make the biggest one we can make here? I think so. It shouldn't be too hard to make the Channeler Delirious. We've got three types already with this Lightning Bolt in hand. We just need to stop our opponent from being able to kill our guy. Now they're not really big on the old killy thing unless they're doing Tabernacle type stuff. What is this? It's going to be a Saga Lantern, or are they going to get a Mox Diamond? We shall find out. They get a Mox Diamond here and then Life from Alone. Yeah, here's a Mox Diamond. There's a Dark Depths. Is that their strategy now? That makes me want to find a Wasteland. Another Urza Saga. Sure. We're going to see something exciting, or just a Loam here. Depths, Depths, Savannah. Sure. Another Mox Diamond. It's going to get rid of one of those lands. The Savannah. Sure. Let's go attacks. 8. So we have them dead. Just with our Murktide and Lightning Bolt. So you got to come up with something there, opponent. You're going to dredge into like Glacial Chasm or something and ruin my day. No, they didn't dredge. Interesting. We kept this land in hand so that we could put more cards back with Brainstorm. If we need to find like a flurry of bolts or something. Thespian Stage, okay. We know they have a Dark Depths in hand. Do they have a crop rotation? Let's surveil with our Channeler by Lightning Bolting them in the face. Force of Will. That's not what we want now. Put into graveyard, please. We have lethal damage. If they have a crop rotation, they can do something about that. Let's Brainstorm. Force of Will. See, now if we'd have kept that Force of Will on top, I think we will put it on top and see if we can find a blue card to go with it. And stop this crop rotation if they're waiting to the last minute to do it. Ah, they're doing it now. Smart. No, 3 mana. And Endurance. Okay. That's going to make our guy massive. Now this Force of Will isn't something we want, but we do have ways of getting rid of it. So, Force of Will, Delver's Secrets. I think we're putting these two on top. Actually no, put it in the other order so we can flip our Delver and then draw a fresh card. So we attack with both of our guys, and that deals 1 damage. They have to block the Murktide with their endurance or they die. We'll play this, which will be flipping next turn. Oh, we didn't play our fetch land. Oh, such an error. We're supposed to play the fetch land so that we can mill that card, so we can shuffle and not draw into it, because we know they're about to make Narset. They can't attack with Narset though. But we will slowly lose this life from the loam. That one card could have been a lightning bolt. No, I'd have to find a sorcery. I guess ponder into bolt into milling the thing. Okay, so this is going to give them a Narset that they can put a Shadow Spear on. Yeah. Okay. So maybe it could have been a Brazen Borrower. That punt could cost us the game. Now, it's not necessarily a done deal that would have made a difference. But now we are just stone cold dead here. We'll never know if that shuffle would have made a difference. So we attack our opponent down to 3. And they equip here, bash us for lethal. If we hold back on blocks, we can block here to stay alive, but they're going to gain 20, and they're not beating that. Even if we bounce this now, it's too late. Yeah, we should have. We had a 2-outer in our deck that we could have possibly drawn if we'd have played the Misty Rainforest. Like, statistically, we weren't going to draw it, but that's not how Magic works, right? You gotta make your optimal plays, and maybe you do draw it. So, cast into the fire is probably fine here. Null Rod's probably okay. Counterbalance might be alright. It's probably better than some of our other counter spells here. These are kind of stinky, really. I don't mind a Narset. Do you want a Hydroblast? We didn't see red, we only saw white. We don't have any Force of Negations, which is normally a tool that would be quite good here. Are we keeping these Mishra's Baubles in with this Null Rod? Are we even boarding in the Null Rod? It only stops their artifact mana, so that's probably not great. Let's just have another Narset. The Meltdowns can kill that as well as the Construct tokens. Sure, we'll do this. Like, sometimes you get to counterspell a really clutch... what's it called? Crop rotation. But then, a lot of the time, you just sit there and they play lands and you've just got this dead card in hand. Like Minor Misstep, that can counter a crop rotation. Counter Mox Diamonds, can do the stuff it needs to do. Okay, we have 1 drop into more stuff. Not looking forward to getting Wastelanded with this hand, but I don't really want to be Wastelanded anyway. So let's go for Dragon's Race Channeler. We've got the Meltdown, so we can mess up an Urza's Saga, Mox Diamond start quite effectively. Don't do it, opponent. They got the Soul Read. I feel it. The Wasteland's incoming. No? Okay. Let's find a second coloured source. What is this? They got a plough here. Feels like a plough. Right, we still get the Surveil though. Big Daddy Mercs, get in the bin. Let's find some better cards here. There's 2 of these cards I want this turn, but that's not how this card works. So... if we want, I guess we put this on top, then the Channeler, sorry, the Druid and the Channeler. Do I think our opponent has more white mana coming on? Am I wastelanding, or is this a mana source? I think it's a mana source, because next turn we seek the beast, get a land, play the Channeler. Exploration. Alright. So, lands is a deck that traditionally beats up on Delver. And I feel we're going to feel that in a big way today. I'm just playing that out when we have a Wasteland. So disrespectful. So I think we seek the beast here. Play this. Go and get a Volcanic. We can use our opponent's Yavimaya for green anyway. Let's play this. We need an instant in our graveyard, which we have in our hand. And then we get to be Delirious. And then we also get to melt down their Saga once they've got all that nonsense going on. But we basically lose to Life from Loam at this point, unless we can find a Surgical. Choke, you say? Alright. That's pretty rude. Glad we still have this Wasteland, I suppose. Yeah, this is going to be a pretty one-sided affair. Alright. We do have Brazen Borrower, which can bounce the choke like an end step, but that's going to require us to draw a blue source as well as a Borrower to get there before our opponent kills us with whatever nonsense they've got going on. So we at least have the Wasteland to interfere with the Dark Depths plan, but that will take away our only... Okay, they're just going to do this. Like, we have the Meltdown. We can just clean this up if we want to. And then Wasteland the Urza Saga once this Urza Saga goes. Expedition map. They're kind of baiting us into Wastelanding, but how do we win the game if we Wasteland them? A Blast Zone, you say? That sounds less than ideal for us. So we're probably going to have to Wasteland this, but they are quite clearly showing us a crop rotation over there. We could play our Questing Beast, but I think we need to get rid of this Saga now. Here comes a crop rotation. No, okay. I guess we go to tax. Maybe our terrible 1/1 can get there. They do have a Blast Zone, but if they pop it, they will lose their Exploration. They'll probably sack their Expedition map before they pop it, though. Besiege you on our Wasteland, you say? The basic land type. This is interesting. We could go and get ourselves a land that will get Wastelanded. Or we could take out their Blast Zone. This is an interesting choice. I think I'm going to take out their Blast Zone. Can't get both, unfortunately. That would be great. Right, so our opponent's turn. They're cracking this Expedition map, I imagine. Oh no, they got life from the lane. Okay, so how do we win this game? That is a question, isn't it? We need to get an instant into the bin somehow. We need to draw... Oh, actually, this is a good draw. Weirdly. Get this Meltdown. Not the top card of the library is going to matter that much. Paducah Box, sure. Okay, so... Paducah Box is going to stop our Chandler from doing stuff, and we do know they have the Blast Zone. But the Paducah Box means they can continue making their Saga tokens whilst removing our graveyard as well. So they effectively remove our threat. We don't have Force of Will in our deck, so that's not a thing we could draw. Maybe we're supposed to keep them in just for chokes. Maybe they're better than Narsets, that's probably true. If Narset was the thing that could actually win the game, even by the smallest of increments, then I would be alright with Narset. But I think we're supposed to have the forces in here. Yep, so they're going to do this. They're going to play the Paducah Bog, exile our graveyard. Yeah, I don't think there's any point playing this game any longer. I think our opponent has this one. I'm going to save them the time and us. Yeah, so that's a good example of how easily lands can crunch up Delver there. Maybe we're supposed to counter the choke, but even if we do that, I guess we could play the Murktide, but they are showing us a plow as well. So it's going to be, especially the white bill with a really good removal in. All right, Trophy Dream is dead. Let's go to the final round and see if we can get a 4-1. We're on the play for the final round versus a Yorion deck. Island Ponder is probably a reasonable start. I prefer a threat in a matchup like this, but we'll take what we've got. I think this is a Volcanic Island. I think this is going to be a Ponder. I think this is an any order and shuffle. We're just looking for a threat here. We found a threat. Are we playing Mishra's Bauble to try and find a blue card in case our opponent's playing something weird and we need a counter spell? I think so. Alright, so that shows us they're probably on Death and Taxes, which does change the dynamic of this matchup a lot. Okay, a Trop. So we've got some land to wade our way through a potential Wasteland here. There's the marsh flats we knew about. It's over to us. We'll play a Tropical Island and seek the beast in our opponent's end step unless we have to do something else. Unswept Heath from our opponent. So they're showing us an Orcish Bowmasters here. There might not be a Death and Taxes. We'll see. Okay, so step 1 is play a Delver of Secrets. Step 2 is play this Brainstorm into this Orcish Bowmasters. Here it is. we're going to Daze this. Okay, I like a lot of the things I'm seeing here. We can use the Bauble to get an additional one of these cards if we want it. I don't think we need Brainstorm right now. Our hand is kind of doing the thing it wants to do. I would like to play this Delver, which is not a thing we get to do if we want to make this flip right now. So we could be looking at get rid of Bauble and Misstep, or this Wasteland's looking pretty bad actually. Yeah, and then we'll crack this and go find ourselves another Delver. We can Brainstorm in our upkeep if we want to set it up. It depends what our opponent does and if we feel the need to do that. Thought Seize. Do I care about this Thought Seize? Not really. I think that's fine. We got a pretty stacked hand. Got answer for Plough. They could take the Force of Will and Plough right now, where we can't misstep it, but then we can untap and misstep another Plough. Unless they just fire off 2 now, but then we get to play our Questing Druid and protect it with some spells. Stoneforge Mystic. I don't really want to play against that one. Say no to that. I would love my Delvers to transform. I think, because we don't have that much going on, I will Brainstorm here to get it going. Okay, so we need to put back this land, and then this Daze. Reveal. Reveal. Bash. What have we got here? Artifact, instant, sorcery, land. So we can make a bigger lad here. I kind of want to play this questing guy, just so we got different CMCs. I don't know what I'm worried about CMC wise. I'll get Tropical Island and play this guy. If they play something that can ruin our Questing Druid, we can always Daze it, like a Bowmaster or something. Even if they don't pay it, it still keeps... Sorry, even if they pay, it still keeps our guy alive because we'll be playing a blue spell. Scrub land from our opponent. The Daze in our hand looking decidedly bad, especially in the fact they know about it, which really doesn't help us. Got nothing. We get blown out by like Resto Angel or something weird. There's not going to be a 4-drop into our face-up Daze. I'm putting Yorion to hand. Yorion's pretty beefy blocker when the time comes, but I don't think I would mind them doing that. So need 2 lands as well to get it through the Daze. A Bowmasters. How important is it that I keep my Bowmasters alive? But I keep my Questing Druid alive. I think it's quite important here. Like, they can ping us for 1. I don't mind that. Why are they pinging our Questing Druid there? That's a little suspicious. Play this. Let's go attacks. Do I want them to trade the whole board for our guy? I don't think so. I think we can just seek the beast. Like, they have to deal with both of these Delvers to not die. And then they've also got this Channeler as well. So you've got 3 lethal threats in the air. They are all CMC 1. I don't think there's anything they're going to have that can do that. But we shall see. If they cast a spell, we can Questing Druid in response, looking for something like a Daze. Alright. Yeah. Our little air squadron doing some work. So, death and taxes, you say? Casting the fire can clean up Bowmasters, as well as some of their equipment. I don't really like Meltdown. It deals with Vile, which is probably a really irritating thing for us to try and beat. Do I like Counterbalance? I can certainly counter a bunch of their stuff along the lines. Probably better than Daze's on the draw. We don't have the things that I would like for a matchup like this, like some sweepers and things like that. So, I guess we'll try it like this. Like, our deck is just intrinsically powerful at what it does. So we have that going for us. But we've got 21 drops, so we have a 30% chance of countering every Source to Plowshares when we have Counterbalance. And if we have any additional stuff we can manipulate our library with, then that obviously goes up. Force of Will, Counterbalance, Wasteland, Wasteland. Do I want to be Wastelanding the Death and Taxes deck? I don't think so. I think we need a... Do we need a threat? Can we Brainstorm into one? We'll probably have to Brainstorm on turn 1 to dodge Bowmasters. It's going to be quite a grindy one. I don't mind having the 2 lands in there, yeah. Not a huge fan of this hand, but Mother of Runes. That one's a little bit annoying. That kind of can shut off our removal down the line. But we don't really have a removal heavy deck or hand at the end of the day. I think we do have to brainstorm here. Alright, I like this guy. Let's fetch land. Don't know if we want wastelands, but we're going to have to draw one of them anyway, so. How much do I want them to see our... Sure, you can Thoughtseize us. Put this other card in the graveyard, gets us closer towards this Force of Will. Oh, sorry, this Murktide Regent. I think our opponent is heavily favoured at this point in the game. I would probably just go back in with the game 1 deck for the 3rd game. And just smash them up with our Dazes and things. Okay, take the Force, interesting. New plan. Channeler and Wasteland. We have a second Wasteland on top that we could fire up next turn if they have another land. Alright. Ether Vial, okay, we have that covered with a Meltdown. They know about as well. Just play the game. Yeah, you can tick your Ether Vial up. You've got 1 mana anyway, so I'm not worried about you putting 1-drops in. Yep, so now we have to Meltdown, I think. This will give us Delirium on our guy as well. Into what could quite obviously be some Source of Plowshares, but I think you plow early if you have one, right? You don't just let that guy surveil me a bunch of cards. Creature of the Guard, let's see what this finds. Stoneforge Mystic. That one's a little bit of a doozy, isn't it? Right, that's a pretty good way to start a turn. I'm just thinking about this counterbalance that we have. And if we want to leverage it, I think we do. The Stoneforge Mystic, and we have the chance of putting a 2 on top. Obviously, we have Brainstorm, we have Ponder, we got some good. We got Lightning Bolt, sorry. So we just need to ride this wave of Dragon's Rage Channeler for a few more turns, and we're good. There's a Wasteland. You can see that being used. A Swords to Plowshares, targeting our guy. That's fine. We've got a Murktide to follow up with. Putting the Yorion to hand. Understood. So we Brainstorm at end of turn here, so we can push the Seek the Beast down, or whatever it's called. Questing Majigger. Sure, I think we'll put 2 Questing Boys on top. There's a Questing Boy. Let's cast this for blue. Blue. Brainstorm, Force of Will, Meltdown, Brainstorm, and a Wasteland. We have a chunky creature. We've got a 2-drop on top to stop this Stoneforge. So we've got another Plow, then a 3-drop. No? Yes? It's another Recruiter or a Flicker Wisp. Battle of Bywater. Destroy all creatures with power 3 or greater. We only have Borrower as a 3-drop, so I don't think we're going to do much about this. I guess we should have cracked anyway, since we're going to be casting Seek the Beast if this doesn't resolve. No, the old one-sided Wrath. Very rude. So we're going to get another Trop here, so they can't waste us off any colours. And then we're going to cast Seek the Beast. Got some stuff. Play this out, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, yeah, so we go. Cut this for a red source. Play Questing Druid first. Green 1. Then we play this Murktide Regent. 2, 3, 4 lands, and one of these has to go. I guess it's a land. Do they have another one of those stupid battle things? That would be really annoying. But we presented some stuff. Thoughtseize. How much do I want this lightning bolt in my hand versus how much do I not want them to counter the spell? I don't want them to know if they can play their spell or not. But if this counters this spell, yeah, it's fine actually. Brainstorm was revealed, sure. So if they play their Stoneforge, we can't lightning bolt it because of how the game works. But we do get to cast a Brainstorm and a Lightning Bolt next turn. And our opponent doesn't have the most amount of health here. If we can flip this Channeler, we might be able to kill them this turn. 3, 6, 9. If we find another Lightning Bolt, and we can flip our thing, we might be alright. We got some options. We're just going to hit. Curious to see what this hits. Is it Murktide? What are you targeting, opponent? The Questing Beast can actually rumble against the Batterskull, but they can just give it protection and sail through though, which is not great for us. Gone for the Merc Daddy. Alright, so we need to Brainstorm this turn, that's for sure. What are we going to find? Another Brainstorm. Might as well put that into the graveyard, I think. It does pump our Questing Druid. No, I think we can do better than that. Okay, so we put this and this back. And we cast a Ponder. We should put the land back. Oh, I've done it the wrong order, haven't I? We could Lightning Bolt now to make sure we get that land to sail across, but I don't think that's what the game's about right now, is it? Alright. Force of Will. Brazen Borrower is very, very hot here. Very hot indeed. So we put Force of Will down, and then the Misty Rainforest, so we can mill that in a second, and the Brazen Borrower. Alright. If they block here, then they can cause themselves some trouble. So I think they're going to chump. Yeah, they're not going to protection it with the mother, because then that just opens them up to getting bapped. So we can just bounce the Batterskull here when it becomes relevant, and then have a great time. They do have these 2 food tokens though, which is kind of annoying to calculate. There's a Misty Rainforest. We know the card on top is a Force of Will. So we go to attacks. They put the Batterskull in, we can bounce it. They can't give it protection because we bounce the actual Batterskull. Do you want this Force of Will? No. Alright, how much damage would you like to take, opponent? Because we can then also play this Borrower and have a Bolt. You're going to be cracking clues over there. Is this creature protecting itself? It is. Do I kill the Stoneforge so they have to spend their entire turn? Or I think we just continue on the line we're on here. Because we make a 3/1 flyer. So we're going to put them to 6 here. We could blow up this Stoneforge, but they can just redeploy the Batterskull. If we'd have left the Force of Will on top, that would have actually been a smarter play. I was not expecting them to block there. Alright. Yep, you get some food in you. Delicious food. We're going to be out of fetchables in a second as well. Blue, blue, blue. Seeking the Beast. Interesting. I think I want to seek the Beast now. This is red and green. Find the other Borrower. This is our last fetchable. I'm going to crack this now. Meltdown. We can melt down this Batterskull next turn. They do have the bouncing nonsense available to them. Let's play this Dragon's Rage Channeler. Guess we should have played the Questing Druid first to pump it, since we're not playing the Meltdown right now, are we? We play the Meltdown. They crack their food token. Yeah, we should have played the Questing Druid first, I think. Maybe we can get them here. I don't think we attack with the Questing Druid. Not really sure what that accomplishes, other than switching off the Mother of Runes ability. If they take the damage, and then they can't ever crack this clue. Alright, we don't have it with the way that we've tapped our mana here, unfortunately. So we will cast this Questing Druid. So in response to them cracking a clue, we will bolt them, but they can play around that by just not doing that. But we have 9 in the air, so even if they gain 4, they still die. Oh, actually no, they'll be on 1 life actually, right? I'm going to attack with the Batterskull here. They are. We'll block with our enormous creature. We'll lose their Batterskull. We have 9 power in the air. A little Flicker Wisp, you say? Let's have a look what we're drawing. Scalding Tarn. Yuck. It's not the one we wanted. I could trade with that. I really don't want to draw this Scalding Tarn, so I'm going to have to Lightning Bolt in a second. It's a case of what we Lightning Bolt. We Lightning Bolt their face, and they're still on 7 effectively, and then they block here and here. So they block here and take 6, and they get a 1. If we bolt one of their guys, all we do is tap the Mother of Runes down, which doesn't really help very much. But both of these do have to attack. Tough call. Maybe we should have bolted in response to the Flicker Wisp so we could get a look to see if we can counter it. But the only thing we have that counters it is the other Brazen Borrower, which if we find, we're just golden anyway. Interesting. I'm going to blink their Batterskull. Do I want to Lightning Bolt my opponents in the face? Or do I want to tap down their Mother of Runes so their Flicker Wisp will at least trade? Because I put them to 10. Yeah, I think this is worth the trade here. Tough game this. We need to be quick as well, because if we don't win this one, we need to win the next one. We get 2 Surveils here. We find the Brazen Borrower here. We're golden. Into the graveyard. Our opponent's got no card in hand either. Delver of Secrets. Is that good enough here? It's another flyer. Yeah, I think that's okay. Yep, so protect their Mother of Runes. Gain 3 life. Get the Batterskull back. We get Delver of Secrets. We cast this first because it pumps our guys. So now the question is, what are we attacking with? Attack with our 11/11. Something will have to die. Our life total doesn't really matter at this point. Yeah, let's send them all in. Yeah, they block the big boy. Are they going to trade their Flicker Wisp here or not? They're not trading their Flicker Wisp. Interesting. Puts them to 5. Which means next turn we can attack for 9 to 12 in the air. And they can't really do anything about it. Oh, okay, they're going to equip here, are they? That's pretty good, actually. Yeah, so there's going to be a big burst of 7 life here. Yeah, we need to find a Brazen Borrower. I think our opponent might have turned the corner a little bit here. We're going to find us, Delver. Ponder. Yes, that's a good one. I would love more looks at some better cards. Yeah, Questing Druid, yeah. Lightning Bolt. Is that good enough here? We attack for 3, 6, 9, 12, and we bolt the creature that they block. That's good enough. They have 1 card in hand. Let's hope it doesn't ruin us. If it's a... Actually, we've got a Lightning Bolt on top, so it doesn't matter. So we bolt our own guy here. We leave this on top, because the only thing they could cast now will be a Plow. And we can counterspell that. I think we've done it. Some big old questy boys. Wait, no. I've done the maths wrong here. I've done the maths completely wrong here. What am I talking about? I've done the maths horribly wrong here. Oh, my God. So now they're on 3 life. So if we do the same play next turn, they're going to be on 10 life. Oh, my God. I just completely punted this. Well, I haven't punted it. We were just not winning with where we're at right there. We need to get our Questing Druid above the correct power and toughness level here. All right. Swing out with a team. Here. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They have to block with their Mother of Runes here. They have blocked with their Mother of Runes. So we take 3, 6. Alright, what are you going to protect with your Mother of Runes here? Crack your Martial Arts for some reason, please. That doesn't really make a difference, actually, does it? No. Alright. Oh, God. This has been a long old game, and it's frazzled in my brain. How do we win this game? A Murktide would have been useful as well. That'll be big enough to get in the way. So this is protecting itself. I'll take a bunch. We die on the backswing. We can kill this, but they can just move it over. Yeah, we need to concede the game and try and win the last game quickly. I don't know. I definitely didn't play that game optimally, but I don't know how much better it would have been if we played it differently either. I'm not sure if we want these Meltdown. I think we can definitely trim a couple of baubles though. Cast into the fire. Will I rather have a Meltdown or a Counterbalance? Interesting choice. Meltdown. No, I think we just have the Counterbalance here. Alright. We'll run it back in. We just want to play a turn 1 threat, like a turn 1 Delver, and just disrupt them while that wins us the game. think my biggest mistake in that last game was probably not conceding sooner, and that might come back to bite us here. We could have tried to find something when the Flicker Wisp came in. Obviously it didn't matter because the next card wasn't either. Tough one. Alright, let's be quick. Yeah, this is a turn 1 threat and some disruption. We'll keep this. Just get ourselves our main threat going. And pass the turn here. Crack us into Mother of Runes. It's definitely done a number on us last time. I'm going to say no to this one. This can go into the graveyard. This is a creature now. Instant land. So a Ponder would be pretty good here. It's a Daze. I think I would rather Wasteland though. And then next turn we can land and Daze. The best thing they did with 1 mana was Mother of Runes. I guess that's a pretty good thing to do. Another Caracas. Oh god, we just put P in the same turn. Alright, opponent. Understood. Are we trying to trade this off? I think I'm okay trading this off, to be honest. I think that Mother of Runes is worth more than our Dragon's Rage Channeler here. They agree. Alright. Unswept Teeth, what are we going to see here? Bowmasters or Stoneforge. Feels like a Bowmaster since they're not tapping in their turn. Here we go. We'll put this on top of my library, I suppose. It's a pretty good one. Fire this off now in case we hit something that makes us attack for more damage. Cast into the fire. Sure. Minor Misstep, cast into the fire. Okay, so put these lands back that we don't want. And then we'll pass. We can't attack into the Mother now because it can protect itself. Yeah, I think our opponent's going to have this. We just need to play quickly, I think. Another Bowmasters, you say? That's pretty irritating. Sure. Play this so we can fetch. Just say no to this vial. We do get to like ping some stuff off with the old cast into the fire. Old Daddy Mercs. That'll do. That's a thing. Instant, 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 instant. Land. Don't plow me, bro. Cast into the fire can target Mother of Runes and Orcish Bowmaster and get 1 problem permanent off the board. Right, so it's a plow. Another Mother. Yikes. So I get this and this for red, red. Oh wow. They just F6 that. And massively helped us out. Any order, shuffle. Let's get rid of the Scrubland and pass. The joys of playing super quick Magic. Sometimes you're going to make some misclicks. That aren't necessarily misclicks, you're just going, well, let's hope we don't have to play any spells. Stoneforge Mystic, sure. Not my best friend. A Batterskull, okay. How much can we delay this game is the question. 3 minutes is a long time. We need Daddy Mercs, probably going to be useful here. This guy has to attack, so that's the easy part. No decisions there. Play Misty. Yep, here comes a Batterskull. Play Theft to Beast Skull. Oh, we need to do our Surveil first, don't we? What is this Lightning Bolt doing for us? Probably not a lot. We need like Murktide here. We are ahead of our opponent on clock now. And there's another Stoneforge. They got Cauldron in their deck. They do have a Cauldron. Not a fan of that one. Let's play this. On top of my library, please. That's the thing we've been looking for. Although it might be a bit late now. So I'm going to get Cauldron in our chops, I imagine. No? Just the 1-1. Interesting. Not what I wanted. What's this? Blue. 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 Instant sorcery. Probably should have attacked first. But again, we are playing very quickly now, so mistakes going to happen. Alright, so they have to put in the Batterskull, I think. There it is. We'll block this. Keep ourselves alive. Crew of Guard. Is this going to be for a Solitude? It is for a Solitude. Okay. Solitude, killing Big Daddy Mercs. One has to imagine. Yep. Alright. Force of Will. That's not really going to do an awful lot here, is it? Bash for this one. So are they going to... They can't equip their Batterskull, so they can make their Cauldra. And if we can flip our Channeler, maybe we get to win this game. I've only got a minute left. Just to recruit with the guard, sure. Be my guest. A Daze. That's not the most exciting one, is it? So they might bounce the Batterskull here. Yeah, okay. Kind of just desperate for them to give us a target with this Force of Will so we can get Surveil off. Another stuff. Oh my god, I was literally just saying that I needed another target and I just clicked through it because I'm in such a rush. Almost I was Jitte. Okay, so we might lose the game because I was hovering the pass priority button there. Okay, give me something I can cast. Any spell. It's a pretty good one. Red. And probably this one. Actually, no. Let's do it off of the green here. Seek the Beast. Put this into our graveyard. Instant. We're looking for a sorcery here, aren't we? So we go blue mana, cast. Alright, they're giving it up. Okay, sure. Oh, we got the lightning bolt there, haven't we? Sorry, I was trying to run the Brainstorm. Yeah, we had the lightning bolt, so we did just about get there. That was a tough one. Not countering that Stoneforge Mystic could have been a bit annoying for us, but our opponent had sub 1 minute. So we end up with a 4-1, only getting smashed by lands. Everything else we managed to come away with quite nicely. But it was definitely a long old league, and I'm pretty knackered by the end of that one. Alright, let's talk about this deck. So the things we were doing felt really good. So the Questing Druid is the only green spell in our deck, which is interesting, I suppose. Maybe we should have less Tropical Islands, but I guess you do want to be able to cast this when the time comes. We don't even have any sideboard cards like Veil of Summer, which is interesting to me. I did feel like I missed having Unholy Heat in the deck. That's always quite a powerful tool in Delver that can answer some problems. You could maybe trim one of the Mishra's Baubles for that. Also, we only have 3 Delvers. If you wanted a 4th Delver, that's kind of what the Minor Misstep slot is, which definitely did some work for us in this league, the Misstep. It never sort of rotted away in our hand, so that's kind of cool. But I would happily fire this deck into a league again. I'd probably mess around with the sideboard a little bit. I think I probably would want some Veil of Summers in there. And maybe something to kill bigger guys could be worth looking at, but quite what that would be, I'm not sure. Maybe we're just trying to tempo them. But like obviously Brazen Borrower is a tempo play. Kind of runs a little bit counter to Questing Druid, where you want to sort of draw up your extra cards, play your extra cards, make your big guy, kind of grow it over a few turns. So it kind of, this card makes you want to play a longer game, and the rest of the deck doesn't. However, that basically just means that you've got a little bit of late game redundancy, because you can use this as a guy if you need to early on, or you can turn him into a thing. So you don't necessarily need to be using him as a card advantage engine all the time. I think maybe we did that slightly more than we should have sometimes, but the matchup we lost, we were getting hammered whatever we did, because that matchup was grim. So yeah, I think Questing Druid is pretty good for the old Rug Delver players. It is a different build of Rug than I generally prefer. I'm one of those weirdos who likes playing Stifles. I know it's not a great card, but there's something special about being a full-on tempo deck with Stifles. And it does mean that your Storm matchups and stuff are super easy. But yeah, I was quite impressed with Questing Druid. I've played it in Jund, and it was pretty reasonable there. And it felt good here too. I think this card is just one that you want to pick up for your Legacy collections, really. Seems good. I haven't got mine yet, so hopefully they don't spike too much. But this card seems the real deal. I think we are done for today. I hope you enjoyed that one. Remember to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. And when I hit 2,000 followers, subscribers even, I'm going to do a little giveaway, signed copy of my book, because in my main life I am a fantasy author, so why not have that? And if you don't want it and you win it, then you can always give it to someone as a present, right? Okay. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoy Legacy, and I hope you get into it yourself. Goodbye.